Hi guys, Alec, Peirce at the ranch. Now, to be accurate, as you know if you've been following this short series on hunting, guns and hunting, I'm not at the ranch. I'm at a ranch, but not really at my ranch in Canada. I'm here in South Africa. That's right. We're at the well-known and famous Black Leopard Camp. They call it a camp. I don't even call 15 million acres of property a camp, but that's what they call it, Black Leopard Camp. If you want to look that up on the internet and read all about it, they do wildlife drives here, which means that they go out and you get to see all kinds of African wildlife and take pictures. The place is incredibly remote and beautiful. A lot of people come here for a week. They come from Johannesburg, a 4-hour drive, and they stay here for the weekend and go home again, just to get a weekend away. It's really quite beautiful. But my wife and I, Diane and I, were here for a specific reason, and that was to enjoy hunting. Hunting is an activity we enjoy at home at our ranch. If you've been following my series, you know the last couple of 3 videos that I had talked about hunting, the tradition of hunting, and gun safety, and the guns you should have, the guns you might want to have if you have a country home, a ranch of some sort. Well, this particular episode, I'm sitting here enjoying a drink. This is a real drink. There's alcohol in this. I know this is a public forum, but I have no restrictions on me other than Kevin. He says, don't drink alcohol. Well, you know. So, and the reason for that is very simple. The hunt is over. We spent the last 2 days hunting, and we've had great success. In fact, I'm going to ask Kevin to pop a picture in here just this afternoon. I was very, very fortunate to take a very, very nice bush buck. I don't know what the heck a bush buck is, but it's interesting here in Africa. They must have 50 or 60 different types of antelope. And they range from a little 40-pound animal with 4-inch horns to the giant kudu, which can be 1,000 pounds and have long spiraling horns 6 feet long, and everything in between. Some beautiful, beautiful animals, interesting horns, and great meat. We eat what we shoot, even here in Africa. You know, we shoot something, we eat it. Everything, as I jokingly say, but the hair and the toenails. And we've been doing that. So I was very lucky this morning. I think Kevin's going to show you a picture of my very nice little bush buck. And then my wife this afternoon. We had a wonderful time. We had lunch, and then we came out of the bush where we were eating our lunch and drove the trails. And sure enough, we spotted exactly what she was hoping to spot: a nice Impala, not a Chevy. No, it's not the Chevrolet. Impala is an animal. Yeah. I think it was named after the Chevrolet, I think. But anyway, and a beautiful little animal, nice horns on it, good horns, a nice buck, good-sized buck. And my wife is a very, very good hunter. And with one quick shot, she had herself a beautiful animal as well. You'll maybe see a picture of that. I think Kevin has one. So we've been having a wonderful time here, enjoying our hunting tradition. What I wanted to share with you in this particular short video, is some of the differences between hunting as we're used to it in North America and here in Africa, because there are some differences. In North America, where we hunt, throughout North America, and certainly in Canada, we hunt and we use various techniques. One of the most common is to sit and wait. Whether you sit in a blind of some sort or up in a tree stand, you know how it works. You guys that are hunters out there, you listen to me, you know you find some place where the game is likely to pass through using game cameras or just your own common sense, looking for signs, and then you would erect very carefully and quietly, you'd erect a blind of some sort, tree stand or a blind, whatever it is, where you can watch that particular game trail, and then during hunting season at the appropriate time, you spend your days in that blind waiting for that perfect animal to come along for you to take. So that's a common technique. We also use drives in areas where it's extremely bushy. Sometimes we take a group of guys and we'll string them out along a small bush line, and then we'll walk through the bush line. And any game that's in front of them will, of course, be pushed out. And at the far side of the area, the forest, the bush, the woods, whatever it is, we'll have a couple of fellows who are good shots. And if something does come out, if something is flushed out, then they can take that, and we share them on the guys. That's a common technique in North America. Spot and stalk. If you're in an area that's game rich, you might literally walk into a bush where you know there is game, and you walk very, very quietly. You walk for 30 seconds and you stand for 10 minutes watching and looking for game. And then you repeat that as you go. Very successful in certain areas and with the right hunter. But here in Africa, they have a different technique which has worked very successfully because the area is so immense. 15 million acres, which is crazy. Know what I say? It's 30 million hectares. That's 45 million acres. Think about it. But anyway, there's no way they could spot and stock, and there's highly unlikely. They're not going to. There are game trails, but there's so much land that there's no fixed game trails. So sitting in a tree stand could be a very, very long, tedious, boring experience, and you couldn't drive the game. They've got too many ways to go. So what they do here is very simply, in the hunting areas, they have trails, and these are vehicle trails, just big enough for a 4x4 vehicle. And these trails go back and forth through the different areas, through the valleys, the hills, and so on. So they can, within reason, see almost every part of that land. Not all of it. Some parts are really not habitable even for wildlife. But they have roads like that. And then the hunters get into one of these vehicles, and it has a driver, and then it invariably has what we call a tracker. He's really more of a spotter. His job is to spot the game. So you get into this vehicle that's open, and the hunters are ready, and the spotter usually sits behind, sometimes at the very front, but sometimes behind, and his job is to spot the game. Both the driver and the spotters. And anyway, we drive along these trails. Now it's great, because you get to see all kinds of wildlife. You get to see the countryside, and if you're fortunate, the spotters will spot in enough time the game that you're looking for. In our case, we wanted a couple of nice, small of antelope. In here, Africa, they have so many. In North America, we really only have one antelope, the pronghorn. You guys from the Northwest, you know all about pronghorn antelope. It's really the only antelope we have. Here they have about 50 or 60 varieties. We wanted two nice little antelopes, so my wife got on that, what they call the impala. I took a bushbuck. And so we drive along, you see, then the spotter says to the driver, and the driver stops, and the spotter says, go ahead a bit, back a bit, and he points out right over there. You see that tree over there to the rock to the right behind that? There's a nice, and he shows us exactly what animal to shoot. Is it a good animal? Is it a mature animal? Is it a buck? Does it have big horn, small, whatever? And then he coaches the hunter on how to shoot. Often we'll usually get out of the vehicle and walk over to a tree or a bush and perhaps stalk up a little bit closer to get a good shot. And that's how it's done here. So it's what they sometimes call it drive by, walk back. And that's what they'll sometimes do. They'll drive by the game, and the game is often not spooked, particularly if you drive past and disappear. And then you get out and come back, and you know where the game was. Hey, it's kind of interesting. I thought you might enjoy hearing about that. It's actually a technique that we could use in Ontario, I suppose. We can't shoot from vehicles or from roadways. I think that's the case in most jurisdictions, so we had to modify slightly, but we do that anyway. We drive and look for game. But here in Africa, we've had a great time, and I'm celebrating. My wife is here somewhere. She's celebrating a bit as well, and we have two. I think Kevin's going to show you. We've had a great day hunting here in Africa, and I thought I would just share my success. Thank you very much for your congratulations, and tell you a bit about how we hunted these two beautiful animals here in Africa. In just a little while, our organizer here, Simon, right, Simon Stedman from the Black Panther Camp. He's actually getting our meat ready, just like that. Black Panther, what? Black Leopard. Thank you, Kevin. See why Kevin's the director, not me? So anyway, he's actually getting the meat. So in an hour or so, after I've had another 2 or 3 drinks, we're going to sit down and have a fantastic meal of impala. Fantastic meat. So anyway, I got to go now. I got things to do. Hope you enjoyed that. Maybe you picked up a couple of ideas, you hunters and so on. And I will talk to you real soon. Alec Peirce at the ranch in Africa. Bye for now.